bread, rice, potatoes. If you've been told you need to avoid these foods to control your blood sugar, I have news for you. You don't. What if I told you there's a scientifically proven way to eat these exact foods, the ones you've been missing, without sending your glucose on a roller coaster, without the spike, the crash, the cravings that follow? Here's what's actually happening. The problem isn't the carbohydrates themselves. It's how and when you're eating them. And today, I'm going to show you 5 evidence-based strategies that allow you to enjoy bread, rice, and potatoes while keeping your blood sugar stable. When you eat carbohydrates, bread, rice, potatoes, your body breaks them down into glucose. That glucose enters your bloodstream, and your pancreas releases insulin to move that glucose into your cells for energy. This is normal. This is how your body is supposed to work. The problem occurs when you get repeated, dramatic spikes throughout the day, sharp rises in blood glucose followed by crashes. Here's what happens with repeated spikes. Your cells become less responsive to insulin. This is called insulin resistance. Your pancreas has to produce more and more insulin to get the same job done. Over time, this drives inflammation, accelerates aging, increases your risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and even affects your brain health. But here's what most people don't realize. You're also experiencing the effects right now, today. Blood sugar spikes cause energy crashes, intense cravings, especially for more carbs and sugar, brain fog, mood swings, and increased fat storage. The good news? You can change your glucose response to the same foods within minutes using the strategies I'm about to show you. You're not stuck with your current metabolism. You have control. Now, let's start with one of the most powerful but least known strategies: resistant starch. Most starches, bread, rice, potatoes, pasta, break down quickly into glucose. That's what drives the spike. But there's a type of starch your body can't break down efficiently. It's called resistance starch, and it behaves more like fiber than regular starch. Here's how this works. When you cook starchy foods in water and then cool them, ideally in the refrigerator for 24 hours, something remarkable happens at the molecular level. The starch molecules realign and form crystalline structures that resist digestion in your small intestine. Instead of being rapidly broken down into glucose, this resistant starch travels to your large intestine where your gut bacteria ferment it. This fermentation produces short-chain fatty acids, like butyrate, which actually improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation. The research on this is clear. A 2022 study in people with type 1 diabetes found that eating cooled rice reduced the maximum blood glucose level from 11 millimoles per liter down to 9.9 millimoles per liter. That's a significant reduction. Another study from 2019 showed that chilled potatoes produced a 32% reduction in postprandial glucose in women with prediabetes. So here's what you do. Cook your rice, potatoes, or pasta. Let them cool completely in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours. Then reheat them before eating. And this works for bread too. Freeze your bread, then toast it from frozen. Same principle. The texture might be slightly different, but the metabolic benefits are hard to ignore. And if you're someone who meal preps, this is perfect. Cook a big batch of rice on Sunday, portion it out, refrigerator freeze it, and reheat throughout the week. One more thing, adding a small amount of fat during cooking, like coconut oil to rice, may further increase resistant starch formation when cooled. The research here is still emerging, but the potential benefit makes it worth trying. You're eating the same food, but by changing its structure through cooling, you're changing how your body responds to it. Now, let's talk about strategy number 2. This strategy might sound almost too simple to work, but the research is remarkable. The order in which you eat your food dramatically changes your glucose response, even when you're eating the exact same meal. Here's the pattern. Vegetables and fiber first, protein and fat second, carbohydrates last. When you eat vegetables or fiber before your carbohydrates, that fiber forms a gel-like matrix in your digestive tract. This physical barrier slows down glucose absorption and delays gastric emptying. It's like creating a mesh that prevents glucose from rushing into your bloodstream all at once. The evidence is strong. A study from Weill Cornell Medical College found that when people with type 2 diabetes ate protein and vegetables before carbohydrates, their glucose levels were 29 to 37% lower at 30 and 60 minutes compared to eating carbs first. A 2025 study showed that eating carbs last improved time spent in healthy glucose range and reduced glucose variability in people with type 2 diabetes. Multiple studies now confirm this pattern. Eating carbs last can reduce your glucose peak by 40% or more compared to eating them first. Let me give you practical examples. Start with a salad or steamed vegetables, then eat your protein, chicken, fish, eggs, whatever you're having. Finally, eat your rice, potatoes, or bread. For breakfast, eat your your eggs and vegetables before your toast or oatmeal. You don't need long gaps between foods. This can all happen in one sitting, eating one food group before moving to the next. The same meal, the same amount of food, but by changing the order, you're changing your body's metabolic response. This is one of the simplest, most effective strategies you can implement immediately, and it costs you nothing. This next strategy involves something you probably have in your kitchen right now: vinegar or lemon juice. Taking 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar and water 10 to 15 minutes before a carb-heavy meal significantly reduces your glucose response. Acetic acid, the active compound in vinegar, slows stomach emptying. This means your food is digested more gradually, so glucose enters your bloodstream more slowly. Vinegar also inhibits certain digestive enzymes that break down starch, further moderating the glucose spike. And there's evidence it improves insulin sensitivity in muscle tissue, helping your muscles take up glucose more efficiently. The research on this is clear. A 2024 study on soleus push-ups, which are essentially calf raises, showed a 32% reduction in glucose excursions in people with prediabetes. A 2023 systematic review found that post-meal exercise is more effective at lowering glucose than pre-meal exercise. And multiple studies confirm that even 10 minutes of walking after a meal significantly reduces blood sugar spikes. Now, let me tell you about a specific muscle that's particularly effective: the soleus muscle in your calf. The soleus runs from just below your knee down to your heel. It makes up only about 1% of your body weight, but it's a metabolic powerhouse. It's composed primarily of slow-twitch muscle fibers, which means it can sustain contractions for long periods without fatiguing. When you're walking, climbing stairs, or doing calf raises, your soleus is constantly working and soaking up glucose. Here's what you can do. Walk for 10 to 15 minutes after meals. Even a gentle pace works. If you can't go outside, march in place. Do calf raises while you're cleaning up the kitchen, or climb stairs. The best time to move is within 30 to 60 minutes after eating. The sooner, the better. That's when glucose is entering your bloodstream, and movement intercepts it before it spikes. And here's a bonus tip. You can do soleus push-ups while sitting. Lift your heels up and down repeatedly while keeping the balls of your feet on the ground. You can do this at your desk, while watching TV, even during a meeting. Studies showed this simple movement significantly improves glucose clearance. Movement is medicine, and post-meal movement is one of the most effective tools you have for blood sugar control. You've just learned 5 evidence-based strategies to eat bread, rice, and potatoes without the blood sugar roller coaster. 1. Cook, cool, and reheat your starches to create resistant starch. 2. Eat in the right order. Vegetables and fiber first, protein and fat second, carbs last. 3. Take vinegar or lemon water 10 to 15 minutes before carb-heavy meals. 4. Never eat naked carbs. Always pair them with protein, fat, or fiber. And 5. Move for 10 to 15 minutes after eating to pull glucose into your muscle. Now, you don't have to do all of these with every meal. Start with 1 or 2 strategies that fit most naturally into your lifestyle. But here's what's powerful. These strategies stack. The more you combine them, the greater the effect. Imagine this meal. You drink some vinegar water 10 minutes before eating. You start with a salad. Then you eat your protein. Then you have your rice. Rice that you cooked 2 days ago, cooled in the fridge, and reheated today. After the meal, you take a 10-minute walk around the block. You just deployed all 5 strategies in one meal, and your glucose response to that rice will be dramatically different than if you'd eaten it alone on an empty stomach. There is individual variation. Your genetics, your current insulin sensitivity, your activity level, all of this affects how you respond. But these strategies work across the board. Test them. See what works best for your body. You should notice differences quickly. Many people report better energy and fewer cravings within days. Glucose metrics improve within weeks. Here's what I want you to take away from this. You don't have to eliminate your favorite foods to be healthy. You don't have to live in restriction. What you need is understanding. When you understand how your body processes food, you gain control. These 5 strategies give you that control. Rice, potatoes, bread, they can be part of a healthy diet when you eat them intelligently, when you prepare them correctly, sequence them properly, pair them strategically, and move after eating. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who's been struggling with blood sugar or who's been told they have to give up the foods they love. And if you want more content like this, evidence-based strategies for better health, subscribe and turn on notification. I'll see you in the next one.